Hey, it's Ben from ZOAR Fitness, and on this Ask Ben episode, I'm going to answer how open should coaches be about uncertainty? All right. So this question comes from Jake Giuliani. He said, I see some influencer CrossFit coaches out there and they speak with absolute confidence on basically every topic out there related to training, yet I hear other professionals in the space who coach athletes frequently admit the challenges and uncertainty that comes with coaching athletes. How do you think this impacts the community as a whole, as well as how this impacts the coaches or the athletes these coaches work with? All right, so great question. I think first of all, we need to realize that this is what we're talking about, right? How confident should this coach be versus how honest should they be, right? And what we often see is that coaches kind of start to move to the ends of the spectrum because polarization is popular, right? In the sense that like CrossFit is polarized, right? It's super extreme. Like pukey is literally like the mascot for it. Like, yeah, you're gonna puke when you do these workouts. You'll be laying on the floor. You're gonna rip your hands. You're gonna be so sore you can't walk. Like it's extreme. Like you'll get rabdo. Like all that kind of stigma around it. But yet at the same time, that's what made people want to do it, right? So this is something that fitness gurus, people that are just trying to get sales, right? They'll do this a lot. Where it's like, do this protocol, you will get stronger, you will lose weight, you will whatever, right? Like you're going to do this, right? Where it's like they're portraying this absolute certainty where truthfully they don't have that certainty. Like anyone who like is truly saying like this is 100% the way it is, like you probably shouldn't listen to them completely because they're not telling the truth. Like everyone has doubts, right? Or in like the example, like the correct answer would be like this protocol might get you stronger. It might also make you injured. It might also make you realize that you don't want to do fitness anymore and that you want to move your direction to somewhere else, right? Like that would be the brutally honest answer. Again, those are the ends of the spectrum. So realize that this is just kind of a sales marketing kind of ploy to kind of make you popular, and it's something that especially people who are less mature kind of fall into a lot of the time. Especially on the confidence ends, because again, that's kind of what pushes on people's buttons, helps make the sales, right? So I'll kind of talk about, again, I would say both of these have benefits, right? I'll call this end of things the super confident person, the infallible expert, where like they talk about every subject and they're super confident about every single thing that they seem to talk about, right? So the person that when Jake said this, like influencer CrossFit coaches, I think of Ben Bergeron, right? In the sense that he's kind of like this, again, kind of quasi celebrity in the space. And I would say like most of the time when you hear him talk, he's super confident and he like never says like, oh yeah, like this is something I'm not really sure about yet. Like he always says like, this is the way things are, blah, blah, blah. Like he comes across as super confident and kind of the infallible expert, right? I think someone who comes across as like the honest coach on the opposite end of the spectrum would be like Max from Training Think Tank. Whereas he's much more honest, open about his own personal doubts. He like writes his reflection on the blog and like does all that stuff. That's like, yes, there's a lot of uncertainty that goes with sport in general, and he's super authentic with his athletes. And both of them coach games level athletes. I think that's another important thing, right? So there's not necessarily a right or wrong. It's kind of finding where you need to be, right? So some things that would be possible justifications or likely downfalls for each. For again, the infallible expert, like the sense that they really don't know everything, right? So like realize that like sometimes, especially beginner athletes are attracted to someone who is super confident in what they're doing, but at a certain point, they're gonna tell you something where they can't, or they kind of, you catch them in a lie, so to speak, or you catch them in their false confidence, right? Where it's like, yeah, you will get stronger, then you didn't, right? Because there is uncertainty in us training as people, right? So realize that, yeah, oftentimes people who are more mature as athletes, more confident in themselves, can have a coach who's more open and more honest and more authentic in that way, because again, they can kind of handle it and it's what they expect because they know there's uncertainty and doubt with training, right? And then obviously the downfall with the honest coach is if you have someone who is less experienced, that they are going to be like, wow, this person maybe isn't super confident, or I'm not confident myself, and they don't seem to be super confident in what I'm doing, and like that's not a good vibe, right? It's not a good combination. So obviously there can be middle ground here, and I think this is what we're going for. It's like you can certainly be a bit of both types, right? Where you have kind of the best traits of both, and depending on the scenario, this is where the kind of the art of coaching comes into this, is that you might be more of like a confident, kind of hold your cards a little closer to your chest. Don't give the athlete every bit of doubt that you have within yourself, because every coach has doubt, right? And just don't let that bleed over into your coaches or into your athletes, right, as the coach. The most important thing that you get from this is like realize that you don't want your kind of lack of confidence in whatever area it is, and every single coach has this. I don't care if you're Ben Bergeron or like whatever like ideal coach you have in your mind, right? Like you have uncertainty. Don't let that infect your athlete, right? Realize that if you have an athlete who is more experienced, right, that you can't infect them with that uncertainty as easily because they've had success and experience and they realize that there is uncertainty in the space, right? So you can be more of the honest coach and kind of show them what's on the table more, understand what they're getting into a little bit better. And again, I think that's really important that you can tell them that hey, there's no secret sauce, there's no universal answers. You're gonna have to work hard. You're gonna have to do this for a long time, and you'll get to the end, right? So, again, I think it's different for every single person. I don't think there's a right and wrong. This is where the art of coaching is. Find the middle ground where you need to be for each athlete, and then go pursue that. All right, so that does it for this Ask Ben episode. I'm going to put a form in the comments below. You can go there now and submit a question for a future Ask Ben episode. Maybe I'll feature you in a future episode, maybe the next one, right? And then lastly, go over to ZOARfitness.com for fitness articles, movement breakdowns, and one-on-one coaching for the sport of fitness. See you next time.